Hello. How are we all doing today? Howdy, howdy. How are things going? I'm doing good. I'm vibing. I don't know why, but like this this probably sounds really weird because how long have we been doing this for now? For like 2 months, and I got nervous before I went live because I've not gone live this week. I was like, what? Why am I nervous? What's going on? Hi, I'm Zero. How are you? Hi, Eric. How are you doing today? How are you doing? Yes, the wife test. The wife test. It's a thing that's it's going round on Twitter. I keep seeing it, and it's making me feel some things because it's from a psychology website apparently. Well, no, it is from a psychology website. I know it's from a psychology website because I know the website. I'm pretty sure I actually know. I'm pretty sure I know somebody that knows somebody that owns the website actually. So yeah, yeah. Oh no! Don't use the sound alerts yet. I forgot to set them up. Oh no! I knew I forgot to do something. Dang. I'm gonna cry. Let me turn those off real quick. Let me turn those off. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Um. Oh, the wife test. We're gonna get to it in a second. We're gonna get to it in a second. It upsets me. It's yeah. It's a thing. Let me just remove this real quick. Sound alerts. My apologies. Once again, we're having that was the technical difficulty for today. Hopefully, was me forgetting to turn on the sound alerts. But yeah, I've forgotten to turn them on, so don't use them. Don't use them. Let me turn them off. How do I turn them off? Oh no. Is there like a disable button, or there is not? Well, that's good. Okay. Just don't use them. This is all I ask of you. Select all. Can I delete them? I cannot. Oh, remove, remove. Okay, there we go. I can do it. Remove. Yes. Remove. Yes. Okay. But since you redeemed Nya, I'll do it just for you. Yeah. There you go. Was that a good enough Nya for you? I hope so. I hope so. Okay. Yeah, so the wife test, there's this thing that's you're sobbing. Oh, that was a very pressured yeah, I apologise. I'll try and do a better one next time. Remind me later in the stream when I'm feeling a bit more relaxed and we'll do a better yeah for you. But yeah, so the wife test is this thing that's going around on Twitter, and oh my gosh, it is causing me some distress. I think it's one of those things which is very clearly a meme. But at the same time, I'm like, this is on an actual psychology website, and I feel like I need to talk about this. It's something. It is really something. So I don't remember what I am doing. Uh, where am I? Who am I? What's happening? Is this the right one? Possibly, possibly. It is the right one. Okay, good. Right. So, the wife test. There's a wife test, and there's also a husband test. Oh dear. I have so many feelings about this that I actually don't know where to start. Like, is it even possible to get 100%? I honestly don't know. I don't know. I don't think it is. Unless you're like I don't know, some kind of 1930s housewife, maybe? Maybe? There must be a way to get 100%. I just have no idea what it is. And I have, well, I think if I take the test, I'll take the test now. And we'll see how bad of a wife I am according to this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk through the actual psychology of how we do this stuff and why this is really bad. And, you know, because I want to come in and destroy everyone's fun. I want to destroy everybody's fun. I want to ruin the meme for you all. That is the whole purpose of this stream, is to just ruin the meme for everybody, and I hope you're okay with that. I'm sorry. That's my job as a scientist, is to come in and debunk everything. Just everything. Yeah, that's it. Just debunk everything. I took the husband test. I don't know what the wife test looked like. It's the same test, but just like with different words. This is legit. Do psychologists have proper tests for something like this? Okay, that's a good question. This is a proper test, but it's from 1929. It says so. Oh, my chaos is not captured Brilliant. Well, in this little attention box here, it says that the test was developed in 1929. It is technically an official test, but it is very, very old. It's like almost 100 years old. So yeah, that kind of brings us to the first issue with this. Hi, Psydere, welcome in. We're talking about the wife test. Do you know the wife test that everybody's been posting about? Apparently, lots of people are failures of wives, and also husbands. But yeah, so this kind of brings us to the first issue with the wife test, which is just that it is horribly outdated. So when we're developing a test, ouch, did you hear that bonk? That was me aggressively kicking my desk. So when we're developing a test, an actual, questionnaire that we're using in psychology, we need it to be temporally valid. Temporally valid. That means it's valid across times. So it needs to still be valid now and in 10 years' time and 10 years ago. It shouldn't change. Or in theory, it shouldn't change if it's temporally valid. The thing is that people tend to change, so we have to try and work out whether or not it actually makes sense. But yeah. Oh, you've heard of it. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's been a bit of a meme. 1920. I'm finished. Oh my gosh. True. It's yeah. I mean, yeah. Okay. So yeah, temporally, or should I say temporal validity? Very, very important when you're making any kind of questionnaire. This one was made in 1929. Let's see if it is actually still valid. I have a sneaking suspicion it might not be. Oh, we've got a poll. What will I score in the wife test? Okay. I won't start until the poll runs out. Or actually, I'll start, and then, yeah, you can feel free to make your predictions on the poll. Oh, we've got a high score. Thank you. I'm so glad that you think so highly of me. Okay, right. So I want to rate myself. Actually, let's read about the test first. So this was developed by a medical doctor in 1929, the marital rating scale. So there's a wife version and there's a husband version, and we're going to do both. The test, okay, right, it's outdated. At least they acknowledge this. But the test can still be used to get a glimpse of what marital norms were like and whether someone would have been good as a wife in 1929. There's a bit of more information down here, which just gives a little bit of background. So the guy was a marriage counselor, and he used this scale to to assess the state of someone's relationship, to assess the state of their marriage. Marriage counseling is still a thing. It's actually really common and really helpful for a lot of people. It's normally just called relationship counseling now, because obviously not everybody wants to get married these days. And yeah, it can be really helpful to work out, if there's any issues in the relationship, what might be causing them, or what might be some ways forward to deal with them. And yeah, I mean, I have no bad words about, relationship counseling as a concept, but obviously it's changed quite significantly since 1929. Nowadays, it's very much about, how can we, get you talking, get you communicating in ways that are healthy. Whereas back then it was probably a little bit more, how do you conform to your role as a wife or a husband? Let's see. It consists of a series of questions or statements that couples respond to. That's actually really normal, and and generates a numerical score. That's a really standard approach for psychology in general. To be honest, we love our questionnaires. We love them. We have a problem with questionnaires. We will throw a questionnaire at you for whatever we can. Yeah, so good to know that hasn't changed. And then let's see, it's not as widely recognized or used as other relationship assessment tools. Interesting. That might tell us something. It's outlining the qualities that Dr. Crane believed characterized a good wife. Interesting. So it sounds to me like this is very much like one guy's subjective opinion, and then he made a scale out of it. He was like, how can I, because you can sell these things. Hi, Boy Scout. Thank you for the follow. I hope you're enjoying the stream so far. How are you doing today? Let us know. But yeah, so it sounds like it's this one guy's idea of what someone should be like in a marriage, and then he's kind of developed a scale, and then he's trying to probably sell it because you can make a lot of money by selling scales like this. Okay, and there's a little bit down there about what is actually involved on the scale, which we'll come back to afterwards. I think we can see whether it actually, measures what it's meant to be measuring. Okay, so what do you all think? You all think that I'm... Okay, the most common response was actually that you think I'm going to score 61 to 80. Thank you. That makes me feel good. One person has put 0 to 20%, and I have a horrible feeling that might be husbando mod. Okay. Press X to doubt. You're so rude. Well, we'll see. We'll see if I'm a good wife, won't we? Take back your words. Okay, right. So, who do we want to rate as a wife? I want to rate myself. Okay. So, is that the first question? Okay. Right. Am I a backseat driver? I don't drive, and neither does husband. So, I guess we'll just leave that in the middle. What's my zodiac sign? I wish I could tell you, but I actually don't know. I don't know anything about the zodiac. It's not really, I have some opinions about zodiac. Horoscopes in general, like, they're fun. They're funky and fun, but they're not particularly helpful if you're trying to actually understand somebody's personality. So, yeah. In the middle of cooking, do you have a link? I do indeed. Let me post it. Here you go. I assume you mean a link to the wife scale. There you go. There's the link. Okay, right. So, question 3. I can play a musical instrument such as piano or violin. Does unknown P count? No. Okay, right. I can't play any musical instruments. I tried to learn when I was younger, and failed horribly. So I'm gonna say never. Maybe one day, but not right now. What is up with these questions? I have a feeling that they're just, we'll talk about it. Okay. I am slow in coming to bed, as in, I hope this means to sleep, otherwise this is going to upset me. This is a wholesome stream and I don't approve. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to answer this in terms of sleeping, as in actually going to sleep. I am very slow at going to sleep. I stay up until like 3 a.m. So, yeah. I think it means going to bed late, but I'm not going to question it. This is from 1929, so it's probably a euphemism. Okay. Am I religious, as in sending the children to church or Sunday school and go by myself? I'm not going to lie, I'm not religious at all. I just sit here and do my own thing, so nope. Personally puts the children to bed. I don't have children, so I can't answer this. Do plushies count? I have an IKEA shark, and I feel like I put him to bed. I'm very careful to put him to bed. I pet him on the nose and say goodnight, my little friend. So maybe I should put yes. What do we think? I'm not sure. How do you even say it? Because everyone that I know says it blahaj, and I'm like, I swear that's not right. That's no. And then my blahaj? Okay. My Swedish friend tried to teach me. I think he said it's like blahaj or something. Blahaj, something like that. But I trust you, blahaj. Okay, yeah, I have many actually. Well, no, I have 2. So I've got a big one and a little one. But then I really like IKEA's plushies. They're very comfy. So I've also got an orca and a dolphin and a beluga, and then I've also got a non-IKEA whale. So yeah, I have a problem. But I put them to bed. I think I put them to bed. So yes, theoretically, if I had children, I probably would put them to bed. I think I would be quite careful with doing that most of the time, but I can't answer it because I don't have children. Hi Luna, I've drawn the emote that you made last stream. Could I send it to you? Of course you can. So thank you so much. That's so kind of you. I think that probably the best option would be Twitter, if you have Twitter, or I don't know. So I'll send you a whisper after the stream. Mod, please remind me to do that, please. Thank you. But yeah, I'll send you a whisper on here after the stream, and then if you have Twitter, that's probably the best way to do it. But I'm a bit of a boomer. I'm trying to work out how these things work. I discovered today that I've got like 5 like message requests on Discord, and I'm like, I didn't even know Discord had message requests. So this is a thing. No mods, no masters, only pizza puns. So true. So true. We love pizza in this house. Okay, wait, I need a drink real quick. 1 second. Okay, right. I do put the children to bed. I put my IKEA children to bed, so let's go with that. Right. Flirts with other men at parties or restaurants? Joke's on you. I don't go to parties. I also don't flirt. I'm terrible at flirting. I'm awful. Yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't even do it. Next. Okay, cool. Thank you, Luna. Oh, I took the test. 49.5%. Not even a half decent husbando. Oh, you tried. You did your best. You did your best. These questions are so out of check. I know. Like, what? I don't know. I mean, I feel like flirting with other people at parties is probably just, like, unless you're in like a consensual polyamorous relationship of some sorts, like that's probably just a bad relationship thing in general. But you know. Okay, right. Lets the husband sleep late on Sundays and holidays? Yes, because I normally wake up after him. Oh, this is gonna make me realize I'm a mess, isn't it? Do you play an instrument? I know, it's so random. It doesn't make any sense. I have a feeling I know what it might be, but I'm not sure. Is a neat housekeeper, tidy and clean? Well, I am a VTuber, so no. Okay. Can carry an interesting conversation. I think so. I think we carry interesting conversations here, right? 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 I do my best. Has meals ready on time. Yeah. I mean, when I cook, I don't know. We do very balanced chores in my house. So you know, I do a bit more of the cooking, and husband does more of the cleaning. Also, I feel like we can't keep calling him Husbando Mod. Please, can we come up with a better name for him? Like, I feel mean calling him that. Okay, right. But yeah, no, when I cook, normally they're ready on time, but not always. I'm not the best for it. Has a good sense of humor, is jolly and gay. I think I have a good sense of humor. And, well, I think I have an awful sense of humor, but, you know, it gets some laughs sometimes. So the equal stake holder mod, that is true. He does own 50% of my channel. This is very true. Though I do think some questions need to be answered by the other half. Yeah, I have a feeling that this was originally meant to be something that the other person responds to, and then they've kind of just let you do it yourself type of thing. It does very much read like it's what we would call like an other response questionnaire. So you can have self-report questionnaires, or you can have like observational type of questionnaires where someone else answers questions about your behavior. And yeah, this is definitely leaning towards the latter, because it's, well, I mean, they haven't even updated the UI. It just says the wife, like, yeah. Okay, let's see. Can we call him Central C? Central C? Oh, wait. Yeah, Wait, I don't get it. No, I don't get it. Central C? Oh, wait, no, I don't get it. I keep thinking maybe I understand, and then I'm like, no, I don't understand. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna lie. It's funny that Leadpool Racing said about pizza a little while back, because we had pizza today, and I'm still in a pizza coma, and I'm not processing anything. So, so yeah, that's where I am mentally today. Some rapper? Yeah, that's true. You do sound, yeah, maybe. Oh wait, yeah. No, there is one, isn't there? There is a rapper called something like that, like a drill person or something. I don't know. I have 3 brain cells. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, right. Anyway, questions. Yeah, I know. There are loads of tests. I was actually gonna have a quick browse and see if I could find a decent one. The poo test. I okay. Anyway, so the wife goes to bed with curlers in her hair or with lots of face cream. What? No. Okay. Dresses for breakfast. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a breakfast in pajamas person. I'm sorry. Is suspicious and jealous? Not really, to be honest. I think I'm pretty chill. Um, asks husband's opinions regarding important decisions and purchases. Yeah, but it's more like a I'm anxious about it thing. Does that make sense? Like, because yeah, I don't know, because I still have student income. I'm always like, are you sure I can buy this? Are you sure? I feel really bad. Are you sure? I'm so sorry. Oh, my alarm's going off. Oh well. Everything's going wrong. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's the situation that I'm in, is that I just feel bad about buying things at the minute and I need validation. So yeah. But I still would anyway, you know, it's good to communicate about these things. Puts her cold feet on the husband at night to warm them. Okay. Okay, I see memes about this all the time and there's a part of me that's really happy that this has not changed since 1929. Yeah, I do that. And not always, sometimes. Okay, it's often late for appointments. Yes, I don't know why. I have a terrible sense of time. Um I think everybody here who has seen one of my streams before has come to accept and just just accept the fact that I am always late to my own streams, like by at least 10 minutes. So it's the same in real life. I turn up, even to Zoom meetings, I turn up like 5-10 minutes late all the time. It's really bad. It's like my worst habit, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I have no defense. It's just bad. You remember the first ever scheduled stream? I don't even remember. I do not even remember, but I would assume I was at least half an hour late because I had so many things going wrong. Like, I was trying to set up my stream and I was just like having a real hardcore boomer moment. And I'm sat there like, OBS isn't doing what I want it to do. You were hype and you kept your phone on low because you had class. Oh, that makes me happy. Thank you. I've wiped it. It's like gone. Like yeah, that is true. You are the OGM0. No, but it's yeah, I'm trying to get I feel like I can even see an improvement in my streaming over the 2 months I've been doing it. So yeah, I am gonna compare myself a little bit to when I started, but I think largely I'm just ignoring the first ones that I did. I'm just gonna pretend they never happened because they were awful. I was so awkward. Like, I'm still kind of awkward, but less so. Stream still started 30 minutes later and you got home just in time. Yeah. Sounds about right. It was the first Pomodoro stream. No way. I'm still clipping things from that because I was just like waffling about things in the breaks. I'm not gonna lie. I had a list of things that I could say because I had no idea what to talk about. I still do that sometimes. If I'm like, because sometimes I have days where my brain is just not functioning and I'm like, what will I talk about? I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I'm just going to make a list of things that I could talk about and hope that it doesn't go wrong. But yeah, thank you for sticking around since the beginning. It makes me so happy. Okay, right. I am late for appointments and my own streams. Wait, I'm sorry. I need a drink real quick. I ate too much pizza, and you know when you've had like salty food and it makes your mouth really dry, and then you're talking, and then you need a drink every 3 seconds? That's me right now. Oh, bacon omelet, here we come. Itadakimasu. Love that, love that. Oh, I've not had an omelet in like years and years and years, and I need to find a way to make one. Okay. The wife often has crooked seams in her hose. I don't even what, in like tights? Crooked seams? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Is it like your tights are wonky? Probably. I don't really pay attention. Never goes to bed angry, always makes up first. I mean, I try, but that's, I don't know. I'm just an inherently angry person. So, like, I'll just be angry at something silly, like something work related or something, and that would just keep me raging. So, I'm just going to leave that in the middle because I actually don't know how to answer that. Where's red nail polish? No, I only really wear black. Once someone described my fashion sense as business casual emo, and I still think about it. Okay, fails to set on buttons or darn socks regularly. Yeah, I take ages to do that. I'm assuming that means like if a button falls off a shirt or something, then you put it back on quickly. I've got like a 3 to 6 business months turnaround on that stuff. So yeah, business casual emo. I know, it was such a good description. I couldn't even like, I couldn't say anything about it either. Like I was just like, fair enough, that's accurate. I hate it. Doesn't like children. Yeah, I don't like children. I don't know what it is. I just, until they're at least like 10 or 11, you know, when they start to become somewhat sentient, I can't cope with them. Like, I don't know. I've got a lot of younger siblings, and I think it just ruined my ability to interact with children. So, yeah, that or I just lack any maternal instincts. Probably both of them are true. But yeah, no, I'm not a children person. There's a reason why I'm an adult psychologist and not a children's psychologist. Is a good hostess, even to unexpected guests. I mean, I think I'm alright. I always ask people if they want a drink or if they want some biscuits or something. I don't know. I just do the kind of generic, like, hello, do you want a cup of tea? Oh, I've got some digestives in the cupboard thing. So, yeah, I guess I'm fine, but just fine. Wears soiled or ragged dresses and aprons around the house. Okay, right. I don't wear soiled clothes because that's kind of weird. But most of my clothes, I've had them for a long time because I just don't really see the point in getting new clothes unless they're like actually broken. So I would probably fall as a yes under the under the you know, the time period. They would probably look at me and be like, "Oh, she dresses like an actual slob. What is this?" But I'm gonna leave it in the middle because I don't know. Like they're not visibly just like disgusting, but they're just a bit old, if that makes sense. But I feel like that's fine. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, what do I get? Oh, I am a failure of a wife. Oh, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry, husband or mod. I've let you down. Okay. Right. So, go. Oh. Whoever voted 0% on the poll, like fair play, you got it right. I'm not cut out to be a wife. What can I say? 0% is possible, apparently. Rip marriage. I know. I'm sorry, it's all gone wrong. Oh no. You didn't think it would be that bad? It's pretty bad. Do you think voted 0%? You know me too well. You know me too well. This is cheating. Okay, right. So I'm a failure of a wife, apparently. Let's go through, because I want to be able to talk about them both together. So let's do the husband one as well. Yes, I understand this reflects gender stereotypes. I get it. Okay, right. Okay, I want to rate myself as a husband. Leaves dresser drawers open. No, that's actually one of my pet peeves. I hate it. I hate it. He's decided to do it now. Amazing. If she gets a higher score than me, I'll be sad. I feel like we need to equally fail, you know? Okay, right. So the husband... I'm the husband. You're out to eat. Bye-bye, Psydere. Enjoy your food. Thank you for joining us. Okay, right. So, yeah, no, leaving dresser drawers and like cupboards and stuff open, that is like my pet peeve. I don't do it. It really upsets me. Has obviously replace wife with husband in this. I have a date with my husband at least once per week. We do try and go on dates, but it just doesn't always happen because we're both very work orientated, to be honest. And also we both have like hobbies that we want to do, and then we want to just like chill. I mean, if like if sitting and watching YouTube videos counts, then yeah, we can have a date once a week, but we don't like go out because there's not really anything that we want to do or very often. So yeah. Okay, reads the newspaper at the table. Okay, I wish I was joking. I actually do. I read BBC News at the table all the time, but like on my phone, obviously. Well, like Twitch, yeah, we do watch a lot of Twitch together, don't we? Actually, yeah, no, we do. Yeah, no, I read BBC News and stuff at the table because I like to keep up with the news. I don't do it while we're eating though, actually. But like, I will sit at the kitchen table and read it like some kind of boomer. It's incredible. Okay. Fails to come to the table promptly when the meal is ready. Yeah, I do that. I'm pretty bad for that. We're both bad for that, actually. But, you know, it's fine. It's fine. Hi, RJ Boss. Welcome in. You're thirsty. Go have something to drink. Okay, right. Leaves the car for the wife. Okay, wait, no. I leave the car for the husband on days that he might need it. We don't have a car, so that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. That's when I need a hydration drink that will bring me up. That's when I need Prime. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's sent me. That's actually really funny. RJ Boss, I can't tell if you're a bot, but I don't care. It makes me laugh either way. Like, you know, just keep doing your thing. I love that. Oh, you're not? You just copy pasta? That makes it even better. I love that. Oh, that's incredible. That's my favourite copy pasta now. Thank you. We should make this a thing. You had Prime for the first time this week and it sucks. Yeah, it's like really popular out in London. So yeah, like literally everybody has it. It's only just started to be a thing here in Ireland. So I'm just kind of like slowly starting to see it appear in shops and I'm like, oh god, it's starting. Wait, I should put on a voice when I read that. What voice should I do? What voice should I do? I'll read out the whole copy pasta and I'll do it in a voice, but you have to tell me what kind of voice. Should I do? What are we thinking? Are we thinking like I can't know. I'm gonna do really badly with London. Tastes like meds. Ew. Wait, maybe I'll do the posh one. Okay, right. I'm thirsty. That's when I need a hydration drink that'll pick me up. That's when I need Prime. It's the coolest sports drink in the world. Prime is 100% sugar-free. It has electrolytes so you can ride your bike. And also, Prime has more vitamin A than your body could ever possibly use. It's too sugary though. How was that? What do we think? I feel like I need to keep improving on my posh voice, but yeah. London soldier? Riding round in a rover. Oh my gosh. Okay. Right. Prime aside. Actually, yeah, no, it's actually got really loads of sugar in it, hasn't it? It's not very good for you. I can't actually say I've never had it because, like I said, it's a thing back home in London. It's not really a thing here in Ireland. It's not really caught on yet, or at least, yeah, no, it's just not really caught on yet. I think it's starting to become a thing in. Sorry, I just remembered something that one of my siblings told me, which was that there was like a fight in the playground about Prime and then someone nearly got stabbed. And I was like, that's the most like Southeast England thing I've ever heard. That's incredible. Yeah. But yeah, here it's not really a thing. Hopefully the Prime craze will not catch on as much. I shot a man and took his shoes. Wait, I shot a man and took his shoes, customizing my rifle like it's 1862. Incredible. Yeah, they had a full-on playground fight and someone almost got stabbed. It was wild. It's actually a fairly common occurrence though, apparently though. Amy got 4.4%. She's a better wife than me. I am a failure. I'm a complete failure of a wife. Okay, but let's see if I'm a failure of a husband. Okay, right. Leaves the car for the husband on the days that he might need it. We don't have a car, so that's irrelevant. I'm a good conversationalist, I think. So I'll put often. Give my husband ample allowance or turn my paycheck. Bruh. No, that's a bit sus. Gives the wife ample allowance or turns the paycheck over to her. That's not a thing that happens. We've got our own sources of income. And then, like, we share the important things. So, what? That's actually so outdated that I don't know how to respond to it. So I think I'll just leave it as neutral. Uh, yeah. Publicly praises his bachelor days and regrets having married. No, I don't do that. Criticizes his wife in public. I don't do that either. Apart from ironically, but then it's very obvious because I'm doing my hardcore sarcastic British voice. Okay, right. Frequently compliments his wife on her looks, cooking, housekeeping, etc. You know what? I compliment the mod on his modding all the time, so I'm gonna put often. Okay, compares wife unfavorably with his mother or other wives. What? There's a... Okay, no, I'm sorry. I was gonna wait till the end to, like, talk about these questions. Comparing with your mother, that's a thing. Okay. That's a, Freud would have a field day with this guy, that's all I'm saying. Like, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Okay. No, I don't do that. Snores? I actually don't know. I don't think. Very big thing in Eastern Europe? Yeah, Eastern Europe. You lot love your mums in a way that I can't process or understand. Like, I've had conversations with people from Eastern Europe and they literally talk about their mother like she's the next, like, I don't know, she's like the best thing that's ever happened in the world. And then, like, you meet the mum and, like, she's fine, but she's just an average mom. And it's like, whoa. Whoa. But, you know, fair play. I guess family stuff is very important. So cultural differences. It's kind of weird. Yeah, I find it kind of weird. But then, you know, I come from the UK and we don't exactly have functional family relationships either, but in a different way. Okay, I don't think I snore. Leaving shoes in the living room. No, this is also one of my pet peeves, is walking around the house in shoes. I got louder there for a reason. Okay, is a is a steady worker and a good provider. I think so. I think I work hard. Well, I'm doing a PhD, so you'd think so. Actually, maybe I'll put mostly. Doesn't cool. No. I'll give myself the benefit of the doubt. I'll put the good one. I think I'm good. Doesn't call when late for dinner. No, I'm neutral. PhDs are workers now. I wish we had workers' protections. Helps the wife with dishes, caring for children, and scrubbing. Yeah, I do that. I help with the dishes, meaning that I load the dishwasher. That's such a middle class response. Oh my gosh. What am I turning into? Is polite and mannerly even when alone? No, not really, to be honest. Well, okay, I am around other people, so I'll put it like, not really, but, you know. I'm just seeing you've seen enough of my streams at this point. Okay. Is courteous to the friends? Yes, I think I am. I think I'm nice to people in general. I don't like being mean to people. I don't like being rude. I don't like that. If I am rude, then it's like by accident 99% of the time, and the 1% of the time is like, there's a good reason. Okay. Remembers birthdays, anniversaries, etc. No, I'm really bad. Well, okay, I'm really bad for it, but I have a calendar, so I'm not as bad as I used to be. Brings guests home for meals without warning the wife? No. Consults the wife's opinion on business and social affairs? Absolutely. My husband is basically my streaming manager. Today he turned around to me and was like, "Are you going to stream today?" Which I like. It makes me happy. I don't know. I feel like this question has aged well, I think, as long as it's not like in a sussy way. because like good communication is really the foundation for any relationship. Like good communication and good trust, and like trust is reliant on communication. You need both of those things to, like, you need the trust to be able to communicate, and you need to communicate to solidify the trust. So I think this is a question that's aged well. Reads newspapers, books, or magazines aloud to his wife? What? Is that a thing that they used to do in the 20s? That's a bit weird. I mean, well, maybe it's not that weird. No, wait. Depends on when it's from. Where was Dr. Crane from? Where was he from? It doesn't say. Okay. If he was from the UK or US, that is a bit weird because women were largely starting to be, well, no, they were mostly being educated to like a high school level by that point, right? Like they could still leave fairly early, but yeah, that's a bit weird. Okay. I guess they just didn't have audiobooks back then. I listen to podcasts and stuff, so I don't read anything aloud. Belches without apology or blows his nose at the table. I'm a VTuber, so I'm leaving that one neutral. Stares at or flirts with other women while out with his wife. No, I don't do that. Okay. I'm an average husband. Okay, so I'm an average husband, but I'm a failure of a wife. What does this mean? What does it mean? What does this tell me? Okay, I'll tell you what this tells me. This tells me you married a meme. So true. Okay, right. What this tells me is that this is just horribly, horribly out of date. So what's happened here was somebody with a PhD and a medical degree, but in the 20s. So, you know, it was kind of, you know, it wasn't to the level of science that we know that these days. He turned up and he wrote his little scale, and his scale was entirely based around his own opinions and values about relationships. So he's written scale items that match his values, and then he is just giving it to people and saying, okay, this now reflects your ability to be a husband or a wife. I'm a better husband than Amy is a wife. 57.8 is a respectable value. But yeah, I think that these two tests together, they're two sides of the same coin, right? What they are telling us, in my opinion, is not anything to do with whether you are actually a good husband or wife by modern standards. It is entirely around whether you fit into the traditional provider husband archetype and like submissive housekeeper wife archetype. So we have these kinds of like generalized stereotypes about what people should do and how they should behave and how they should act and how they should think and how they should present themselves and all of that jazz. And that's, yeah, it's basically just testing whether you fit into that stereotype, but like the one from the 20s, basically. So if we go back on the wife one, take the test again, so we can look at the questions again. So like, where's red nail polish? So red nail polish back then was a kind of, as far as I understand it, it was kind of like a, not quite a status symbol, but kind of a status symbol. So red historically has been kind of associated with like sexuality, I guess, and like beauty and youthfulness. So I don't know whether this is assessing the red nail polish to be a good thing or a bad thing. My gut instinct is that it's probably thinking it's a bad thing because it was associated with like prostitutes, for example, would wear red nail polish to try and attract clients. It was kind of like seen as a bit, I guess, like garish. But then other people would enjoy it. They would like that in a woman, so they would see it positively. But I think it would more be reflective of where somebody fell in the kind of social hierarchy. You know, if they were working class, you know, like they came from like poverty, they lived in poverty, or they were in a relationship with somebody that worked in a kind of you know, manual labor type of job or something like that, then probably the red nail polish would be like seen as a red flag. Whereas if somebody was like higher middle or upper class, then probably the red would be seen as a good thing because it's kind of showing their youthfulness, which would be more of a positive status symbol in those circles. Question: Did the Gothic sub? Did the I need a drink. 1 second. Did the Gothic culture exist in the 1920s, and was it viewed negatively in accordance with this question? That is a good question. I don't actually know if goth was a thing. I think that the way that we would consider it now, like the aesthetic, probably didn't. But I don't know. But Gothic literature and music is pretty old. I think that that's from the 1800s. So, and you know, Gothic architecture is a whole thing as well. And I'm pretty sure it might even be earlier than that. But yeah, no. So yeah, Gothic writing and things like that definitely did exist in the 1920s. But I don't know. I don't know how they would respond to it. I mean, it depends on the style of goth as well, right? Because if it's like the kind of like romantic goth with like the long flowing dresses and stuff like that, they'd probably be like, yeah, that's fine. If it's like ego goth, they'd be like, what is this harlot? Like, I don't imagine that they would perceive that particularly well. I do wonder how they would respond to fishnet tights, though. Interesting. Um, so red polish was viewed badly. It was kind of, yeah, it kind of varied because a lot of these things, they kind of vary with the context that it's happening in, if that makes sense. So like if a woman was like married and lower class, you know, married to like a manual laborer, then yeah, they'd be probably be like, oh, she's a harlot. Whereas if it was like, you know, like a young unmarried woman from a higher class background, they'd probably be fine with it, or even see it as a positive. What? Okay. And then it seems like also a lot of these questions were kind of around like you know how, so there's like the more traditional way that women would exist in relationships in the 20s was that they would basically organize their husband's whole life for them. So the man would go out and he would work 9 till 5 and obviously commute as well. But then basically he wouldn't be expected to do anything outside of that time. So the woman would be in charge of all of the housework, all of the bills, organizing all of the appointments. She'd go and do this, I don't know, the taxes stuff at City Hall, stuff like that. Yeah, so that's a thing. That also varied across cultures though, because that's how it, from my understanding, that was how it worked in America. In the UK, it was actually the opposite. The man was expected to do all of the paperwork and stuff like that and sort the bills, and then the woman would just be raising the children and yeah, and doing housework and stuff. But there was also a little bit more. There was also a bit earlier acceptance of women going to university here as well and getting educated, so that's also a thing. Is these things? This is another thing that you need to bear in mind with any kind of psychological test is that, or any kind of psychological survey, is that they vary considerably across cultures. So you need to think about how they vary across time, and you need to think about how they vary across cultures, because honestly, cultures can have totally opposite responses to these kinds of questions. Like being late for appointments, you know, in some cultures it's not expected, but you know, it's a lot more tolerated. Especially for example, so like in the UK now, if you're commuting into London and you've got an appointment or a meeting in London, like the trains are just atrocious. The trains are atrocious. So if you're late, a lot of the times people's like, okay, fair enough. Like we'll just, you know, postpone it or do it another day or we'll do it online or whatever. Whereas like in some countries, it's like if you are not 5 minutes early for it, then you are like the devil's spawn. You are the worst thing ever. You are getting ostracized, and everybody thinks you're incompetent. So yeah, cultural stuff has a really big influence on our responses to questionnaires. Also, even just in terms of how people respond. So this is on what we would call a 5-point Likert scale. It's not totally obvious what the things actually stand for. So there's like never and often, but I'm not really sure what the middle three are meant to be. Normally with a Likert scale, you'd have something like never, rarely, unsure, occasionally, often across each of the segments. And then, yeah, but the people taking part would choose the one that they want the most. A really common Likert scale is like it goes from like strongly disagree to strongly agree. So it'll be like strongly disagree, disagree, unsure, or it could be like neither agree nor disagree. And then it'll be agree, strongly agree. The problem is that if you have one like this, where like the slider is really good, it's really intuitive and it can help people respond. But if you don't have each of the sections labeled, then there's like a really big error element in there. People are basically just guessing what they're choosing. So like if I choose this, I could interpret that as like sometimes but not always, or like no, sorry, this one even. This one, I could interpret this one as like sometimes but not always, whereas another person would be like fairly often but not always, if that makes sense. Like I might think, yeah, I'm late for an appointment like 50% of the time, so I'll put it there. And someone else could go, well, I'm late for appointments like 10% of the time, so it could go there. And then another person could think, I'm late for appointments 10% of the time, but it's always due to really bad traffic that's outside of my control, so I'm going to put never. If you don't give really clear instructions on how people need to respond to these questions, then they will just respond to it in the way that feels right intuitively for them. And that doesn't, it isn't reliable. People give different results each time. But yeah, also there's the cultural element. So some cultures, especially Western cultures, we're more inclined to choose extremes. So I'd be like, oh yeah, often, because I am late for appointments, like, I don't know, 50% of the time, yes, often. But then someone else from another country might look at this and be like, oh, well, I am late for appointments sometimes, but I don't really want to admit to it because it would be really bad for my identity. It would be really bad for how people think about me. And then I also, it's not really clear how late it means because, sometimes I am 1 or 2 minutes late and, that's kind of normal just because the transport here is so bad. Whereas like, I'm not exactly late like half an hour every time. So maybe I should just put here instead. Yeah, it varies quite significantly. Hi, Lord to Basil. Hi, Miguel. Welcome in. Welcome in. That's okay. You're not late. This was a bit of an impulsive stream. That being said, I have actually decided on a rough schedule for streaming now, because I got my timetable through for the semester. So yeah, I know roughly when I'm going to be streaming, and you can keep an eye on the like the schedule thing on my channel. Look at that. It's got my main things on it, and then occasionally I might do a weekend stream, but I've not decided 100% yet. But definitely Tuesdays and Wednesdays now. That's when I'm doing educational streams, and perhaps gaming on Sunday or Saturday. Probably Saturday, but yeah. Yes, that's the plan. But yeah, don't worry, you're not late. I just decided to stream randomly tonight because I kept seeing these things come up, and I'm like, this is what you've missed. I'm an average husband. But I'm a failure of a wife. I got 0%. Like, unrelated, but the way that Wednesday is written always irked me. Like the character, or like the Netflix series, or like, tell me, what do you mean? What do you mean? Tell me. Or like or the word. The word. Oh no. Right, I'm not gonna lie. I did watch Wednesday as in the Netflix series, and it's one of the only like actual things that I managed to watch the year that it came out, which I've already forgotten when it was. It might have been last year. I don't know. And yeah, it's on my mind. I have thoughts about it. But yeah, Tuesday irks me. Oh, did you just make me want to say Tuesday? Tuesday. Oh no. Okay, I need water again. I'm so sorry. Okay, right. Where were we? No. Oh, so the word does actually just irk you. Yeah. So I have a story. When I was at school, one of my teachers, my English teacher, was like really, really harsh. And she I spelt the word Wednesday wrong. I've just realized I'm really small. I'm gonna make. Whoa. Wired dere. No. I've just realised I'm really small. I want to make myself a bit bigger. There we go. Okay. Wired Psydere. Yeah, so I had a teacher, an English teacher, when I was I want to say I was about 12. And I spelt Wednesday wrong. And I also spelled February wrong. It was a Wednesday in February, and I wrote Wednesday, I don't know, whatever it was, the 5th of February, whenever it was, 2008 or something. And then apparently I came in late to class because of medical reasons. I had a medical reason for being late. So I was late to class, and I missed her at the beginning, saying that I swear, I am so sick of you disgusting children spelling Wednesday and February wrong. You will spell it right. And if you don't, I'm going to make you stay behind after school and write out the word 300 times until you learn how to spell it. And yeah, I missed her saying that. I came in, I was in a rush, I spelt them both wrong. Yeah, and she got really angry. She shouted at me in front of the whole class. She made me leave the class. She was like, "Why did you spell this wrong when I told you not to?" And I was like, "I wasn't here, I don't know what's happening." And she was like, "No excuse, you're staying behind, and because you've done it both, you can write them both for double the amount of time." So I had to write Wednesday 600 times, and I had to write, what was the other word? February 600 times. It was a mess. Honestly, it was a mess. Look at me now. I'm doing a PhD, so you know, what does she know? But still, it traumatized me, and I can actually spell them right now. I am so sick of you writing things badly in a language with minimal text to pronunciation consistency. So true, so true. That was actually her. She was like, I wish I was joking, but even when she was teaching me, I think she was about 90. Like she was probably 18 when this was written, this test. So yeah, 90. Yeah, my school had some very, very old teachers, because it was like it was kind of a pretentious school. It wasn't a private school, but it was pretentious. They wished that they were cool like a private school, but they weren't. So they'd get really old teachers that had been teaching there for decades and decades and decades. Like, one of the teachers I had taught my mum. That's how long they'd been there. So yeah, teachers and power trips go hand in hand. That's true, and I hope that I don't do that. I hope that I don't do that. No, bad teachers and power trips go hand in hand. Good teachers don't do that nonsense. 90, yeah, she was really, really old. Like, she didn't retire. She kept going until literally she died. Like, she died over a school break, and we never saw her again. It was wild. Hi, Moiseo. Welcome in. Welcome in. How are you doing today? We're just talking about the wife rating scale. I did it, and it said that I'm a failure of a wife, but apparently I'm a pretty good husband. I'm pretty average, you know. I'm good enough. So take that how you will. School break, as in recess? No, as in like a holiday, like you know, like over. It wasn't over Christmas. It might have been in February. We had like a week off, but yeah, 75% of my high school would be like a word. What? I'm confused. I think if I had a word to describe my high school, it would be absent, because I never went. I had like 40% attendance. Not advocating that, by the way. Go to school. Do not skip school. But I didn't go, and I turned out okay. If you self-study, you can get through things. You're good? Oh, I'm really glad to hear it. No, I'm good, thank you. I'm yeah, I've realised, like, how long have we even been streaming now? I actually don't know. How long? Oh, that's me. What am I doing there? You didn't see that? Let me turn off. Oh, about an hour. Thank you. Let me turn this off real quick and see the exact time. Let's see. We've been going for, oh yes, an hour, and okay, I probably spent 3 minutes on the starting soon screen, so probably exactly an hour actually. Oh no, there's an ad coming up. I'm so sorry, everybody. I'm so sorry. Okay. Norwegian prison is much comfier than UK school. So true. Don't go to school. Yeah, you should make note of that. Exactly. Make note. It's good advice. No, seriously, go to school. Do your education. I promise you, it is worth it. I've been doing education for like 10 years longer than I was meant to, like 10 years longer than the minimum, and it's been going fine for me, I guess. I mean, look at me now, I'm a VTuber, right? That was definitely a good use of my master's degree, and my soon to be PhD. Dang, 90? That sounds really common. A lot of teachers here in Scotland work for ages. Ooh, really? Yeah, it wasn't so much of a thing where I was because I lived in, well, you can probably tell from my accent, I'm from Southeast England. So we had a lot of people coming out who'd been like learning how to do teaching things in London. Oh my gosh, my voice. That's a sign that we need to run ads so that I can give myself a 1 minute break on my voice. But yeah, no, our teachers were actually mostly quite young, and also quite a few of them had like, like masters and PhDs, which was quite impressive. Um, but yeah, I went to a pretentious school that thought they were better than they were. That's what big education wants you to think. I am big education. What do you think this channel is? Damn, a master's and now a PhD. Best of luck. Thank you. I'm doing my best. I really am doing my best. I can complain about it. You know what? I'll complain about it through the ad, which will start very, very quickly. So I apologize to all of you that have got a sub, and you're gonna have to listen to me complain. But yeah, PhDs, they're an interesting thing because they're not an act. You know what? Actually, let's just swap over to Just Chatting for a minute. They're not an actual. How can I describe this? Um, they're not like a degree in the standard sense of things. Because they're not taught. You don't sit and go to classes. You don't get taught things by a lecturer. I mean, you do, but if you do any like, they're not lessons. They're like a DIY. Exactly. A lot of it is you teaching yourself. So you'll go and talk to your advisor, and your advisor will say like, okay, this sounds very cool and exactly what you need to do for your research. Go and teach yourself it. Basically, there's some training happening. Go sign up to this training. You go to the training, and then it's like mostly actual lecturers or professors or postdocs. So like people that have done their PhD, like they know what they're doing. And then you're kind of like, I don't know, yeah, you're expected to just teach yourself everything. I think that doing a PhD has mostly worked. I say mostly because I've had some hiccups along the way. Uh, but yeah, it's mostly worked for me, ironically, because I didn't really go to school. Because although I didn't go to school, I really enjoyed studying. And because I really enjoyed studying, I was good. I learned how to teach myself things. And then when I went to uni, it's kind of like a graded approach almost. Like when you're in high school, you are literally just like spoon fed pretty much everything, at least in the British system. Then you go to uni and you have, I don't know, in psychology, the degree that I had, I think we had maybe like 12 hours of classes where we'd actually be with staff. But then we were expected to be studying like 40 hours a week, and the remaining, oh god, quick maths, 28 hours a week, I think that was right. 28 hours a week, we'd be expected to go to the library and study ourselves. So we'd be reading textbooks, or, reading journal articles, or going over the lecture material ourselves so that we could learn. Spoon fed everything in high school. Yeah, so basically, when I was in high school, I studied psychology in high school. I did A-level psychology, and my teacher would give us this massive sheet, like this massive A4 booklet, which listed off all of the things that we needed to memorize. And he would teach us ways to memorize them and ways to write those things that we've memorized out into an essay in a way that would get us marks. Because A-levels in the UK, they probably do have this everywhere, to be fair, that uses the A-level format, but A-levels in the UK are very, very rigid. So there is, okay. The way that A-level psychology worked when I did it was that there was basically 3 types of marks that you could get. There was the descriptive marks, where you would literally just get a mark each time you reeled off something like the name and date of a study. So for example, if you were able to write, watch as I now forget every single study that ever happened. Zimbardo and colleagues, whatever it was, 1970 something, or 1980 something, I don't know, put a whole bunch of college students into a simulated prison experiment, and half of the group became prison guards and half of the group became prisoners, and then they found that people behaved in ways that you would expect, behave in ways that match their allocated role. So you say all of that and you get basically checked off 3 marks, 1 for getting the name and date right, 1 for getting the findings right, and 1 for getting the, like the general method right. And then you would also get equivalent marks for evaluating it. So you would then say something like, however, the Stanford prison experiment has been criticised because it hasn't been replicated. It's also got this, that, and the other ethical problems with it. And on top of all of that, subsequent investigations suggested that there may have been an element of fraud happening, so it might not have happened in the first place. And then you would get checked off 3 marks for your evaluation. And that was basically just how it would work. So he would give us, my teacher, he would give us these massive A4 booklets with like just a list of like studies and evaluation points. So it would be literally bullet points, like, Zimbardo et al., whatever the date was. And then underneath there would be like AO1 descriptive bullet points, ... AO2 descriptive bullet points, ... And that would be it. And we would just be expected to memorize it. And then we would spend a fair chunk of our time in class just going over those things so that we remember them. And also then learning how to take those bullet points and put them into an essay. Oh, that was a long spiel. I'm sorry, I need another drink. Okay. Yes. We had a similar approach for hires, especially mostly spoon-fed through English and classical literature for us. Yes. Yeah, the spoon feeding thing is very, very common across the whole UK. Thank you so much for the follow as well. How is your name said? Moiseo, is that right? Moiseo? Is it French like moi, or is it moi? Like, I don't know. My gut instinct is moi, but please correct me. But yeah, no, I think that approach is pretty common for pretty much anything that's influenced by the English and Welsh education system. I think, yeah, it's unfortunately very common, and it doesn't actually teach people anything useful because it doesn't teach you how to actually learn stuff in a way that you would remember it, aside from just like repeating it. Which is not, it's not the best way to learn. It's really not the best way to learn. Oh, I got it right. Good. Thank you. But yeah, it frustrates me. I have a lot of issues with it. But then you go to uni and you are, enjoy your lurk, Lord to Basil. But yeah, you go to uni and it's totally different. The high school system in the UK seems so well constructed. It's not. It's a mess. So first of all, there is no high school system in the UK. It's different between each of the countries. So like England does something, Wales does something largely the same but slightly different. Scotland and Northern Ireland each do their own thing. So yeah. The English system is that you go to secondary school when you're 11, and then you start doing like your formal exams when you're 16 through to 18, and you get there's like 2 stages. So 60, wait, no, that's not right. Wait, maybe? Have I? No, 14. You start at 14. So 14 to 16, you do GCSEs, and then, or whatever they're called now. They keep changing them. And I'm a boomer, and I can't keep up. Oh my gosh, what's wrong with my voice today? Okay, but yeah, 14 to 16 is GCSEs, and then 16 to 18 is A-levels. And they're both spoon-fed type of things. A-level still has a little bit better evaluation type of stuff, so critical thinking, but you can get through it by just repetition, which is not ideal. It's not ideal. Yeah, you guarantee ours is worse? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. we it's complicated. It's complicated. It might be, but if your country uses so for example, if your country uses the like IBAC system, then I would say yours is probably better. But that's my opinion. That's not a official fact. So yeah. Oh, that's why I like uni now. It's a better feel. Okay, what the being able to self study. Ours in Scotland is weird. We go from high school and do highs at 16, and then you go uni straight away if you get the grades, or you can go to college and then uni. See, that, to me, that makes more sense. That makes more sense. Because if you've got somebody that's like really good at what they do, and they get really good grades at 16, and they would be able to cope with the self-studying that you need to do at uni, then that makes sense to me. Like, I think I probably would have been better off if I'd have been able to go straight to uni instead of doing A-levels, because A-levels was literally just so, like, such a big quantity of information that I just couldn't cope with it. And I got good GCSE grades, and then I got not bad, but I didn't get the A-levels I could have got. And I think it's just because I couldn't cope with the sheer amount of stuff I had to do, but then also I'd turned 16, so I had to go and get work because my family couldn't. Yeah, it was a complicated thing. I couldn't afford to live if I didn't go and work at Primark. So yeah, yeah. Go and get your first job at Primark. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, everyone was just pushing for that. Yeah, that went well, didn't it? We love retail. But yeah. The IBAC, no, not the IBAG system, the IBAC system. IBAC, like International Baccalaureate. So it's a bit more varied and it's a bit more coursework focused. And from what I can gather, people come out of IBAC a lot better off in terms of their knowledge and skills, like ready for uni compared to A-levels. But yeah, self-study is good. I'm enjoying it and the whole environment. I'm so glad. Yay. Yeah, I had the same thing. So uni is very different from high school, at least in England. Yeah, it's so much easier. Like you do maybe, I mean, I think like quote unquote hard STEM you can do up to 20, and like medicine you can do like 20 hours of what we call contact time. So time where you're actually in a class being taught by a member of staff. But the majority of the time is just on your own in the library doing your own work. But if you don't function doing your work best when you're, in work hours, if you're still, a lot of people like, okay, wait. So teenagers are interesting because they have a different circadian rhythm to adults. Adults as in older adults, like, like 25 and onwards. So circadian rhythm is just like when you sleep and when you function best. So when you're most awake, when you're most drowsy, when you want to eat, things like that. They have a totally different circadian rhythm. So I think uni's really good because if you're one of those people who it takes a bit longer for your circadian rhythm to adjust to like society, then you can kind of work around it when you're at uni because you've got all that free time. So if you're the kind of person that really just doesn't function until midday, that's fine. You can sleep later and you can work in the evening and there's no issue there. But yeah, the self-study thing, honestly, it worked so well for me. I'd been doing it for my whole time anyway, but yeah, it was cool. It was cool. And I did a lot better at uni than I ever did in school, both in terms of my academics and also in terms of just actually like talking to people. So like doing things with people, which was wild. Yeah. Oh, okay. I really empathize with you and I want to complain about how my uni does its teaching. Oh, that would be okay. I do want to hear you complain at some point because I also have feelings and opinions about teaching at universities. But yeah, you have to go now. Catch the VOD later. Thank you, Miguel. Thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day or evening. I don't know what it is for you. Okay. The amount of A-levels you have to do is crazy. I was surprised when looking into the system in England. Yeah, they keep changing it as well. I think I did 5 A-levels when I was younger. That sounds about right. But then we also had to do additional courses at my school because they just enjoyed causing us pain. It was, yeah. But if I could go back and like choose, I would have chosen very, very different things. I still would have done psychology, but like I did chemistry and I don't know why. I was terrible at it. So I would have not done that. Yeah. It sounds similar to what we use in my course for law. Ooh, law, that's interesting. Tell me more. Tell me about law. What's it like studying law? I've known a few people that have done law and it sounds so stressful. Like not the actual studying and like learning cases and learning to interpret things, but like the interaction part. The interaction part is sounds very intense, and you can like there was my so I've met some people that have done like dual psychology and law degrees or law and psychology, like law with psychology, so that they could do like forensic psychology stuff on the side. They were intense characters, to be honest. So yeah, honestly, but yeah, no, I'd love to know more. Tell me more. You're getting better results than you ever did in high school. Yeah, it's yeah. I think different things suit different people. I do know people that, as you know, peaked too early, as it were. They did really well in high school, and then they went to uni and really struggled. Um, and I also know people that did the opposite, like us. So yeah, but yeah, as you go through, you like different levels of degree. It changes. It changes because the bachelor's is like there's a lot of self study time, but the classes they're quite they're still very broad. I think so you can go off in a lot of directions if that's what interests you. They're kind of there to teach you general skills about how to think critically and all of that kind of stuff. But then when you progress further, it becomes a lot more like, there's still just as much self studying, if not more, but it's more specific. So you're being very much pushed into a very specific niche. Yeah, it's quite content heavy. With like the cases that you need to know, a lot of pressure to handle from everybody, but it's quite fun. You learn some weird cases. Oh, that sounds so fun. That does sound so fun. But yeah, content heavy, I can fully imagine that. Oh, you're only in year one. Yeah. Not to scare you. Not to scare you, but yeah, it gets quite the hardest. I mean, I know it's probably different in Scotland because even degrees are different there. I think it's like 4 years, but I did a 4 year degree, but it was like a sandwich one. But yeah, they are. It's the jump from year one to year two that got me. I think year two was the only year where I got a mark that I wasn't happy with. Overall in a module, like I got a fair few coursework grades that I wasn't happy with. But yeah, there was like um one one module that just completely went downhill for me. So yeah, that's the thing. Um, yeah, what are we talking about? Oh yeah, right, PhD. But yeah, so you're going through bachelor's is you know, general. You're learning general things. You can learn some specific things. It kind of depends on what the lecturers want to put in, unless it's an accredited course, in which case there's specific things they have to cover. And then I have done a master's in a specific area of psychology, and that was so fun. I loved that degree so much, even though COVID cut it short. Like it was like the best thing I've ever done because it was a master's with not it like the classes weren't massive apart from one. One of the classes was really really big, but then the rest of them were a decent size, especially compared to undergrad, which had massive classes. Like there was like each one would have like hundreds of people. Um, but yeah, it had smaller classes, and that it was a lot more like debate orientated. So we'd like go into groups and like read a paper and like pull it apart and then feedback off what we thought to the lecturer, and we'd actually get individual feedback on stuff, which was incredible. And I feel like I was really lucky because the masters that I did, they were just treating us like we were part of the lab, which like we were part of the research group. It was so good. Um, but yeah, in general, I think masters, there's the content. It becomes a lot more technical. Like you're expected to know things. Um, yeah, so like for example, I had to do some really advanced statistical analysis for my master's degree, which made me cry. But yeah, I got through it. And then when you go on to PhD, it's just basically entirely like self study. There's no classes anymore. I mean, it depends. There's normally no classes anymore unless they feel like there's a certain skill that you'd learn from specific classes. But like I had to redo all of their stats classes because I didn't finish my masters in time to start my PhD because of the pandemic, which was a thing. Um, but yeah, so I had to do that. But if I hadn't have had that specific circumstance, I would have been able to jump straight into the PhD and just do research and not have any classes. And most of it's just been entirely self-directed. Like I'm just doing the research that I want to do with support from my advisor, and that's it. And it's pretty good. Like yeah, there's not the obligations that I have are more like around my teaching role or around my additional activities that I do. Like my I don't know if I'm on a committee or something. It's that rather than actually like having to do assignments. Like I have one exam a year and it's just like a kind of casual oral exam, and like I just go in and talk about stuff and I send them a report of what I've done in the year and then that's it. Like yeah, it's a lot more chill. Oh wow, you're doing 4 years, then a diploma, then an internship, and that will make you a solicitor. That's wild. That's maybe as much as me. I think I did a 4 year undergrad and then I did a 1 year masters and now I'm on my 4th year of my PhD. So I'm suffering. It's worth it though. It is worth it in the end. Yeah. Oh, there's specific modules that you can't change since it's required by the Law Society of Scotland. Okay. Yeah, psychology's got the same thing. Because so many people go into psychology wanting to do something um like health related or clinical related. They want to do something to help people with mental health difficulties. So we have the same thing. It sounds yeah, no, we do have the same thing. I think yeah, there's like there's set topics that we have to cover. So there's like statistics, there's the basics of like developmental psychology and personality psychology and stuff like that. PhD sounds really interesting, but damn, both got long years. Yeah, they do. They do. But it is worth it. It is. It is. At least I hope so anyway. I've got a job lined up, which is exciting. Which is actually a science job, so I feel like I'm actually going to be using my PhD, which makes me really, really happy. Oh, because honestly that's the thing, is that some people like do their PhDs and then they don't actually end up doing anything related to it, which is very sad. But yeah, I've got something, I think. Fingers crossed. It all goes well. I'm so scared. Okay, right. Shall we? I've been waffling for a long time. Shall we go back to this rife rating scale? We did relate to appointments. Doesn't like children. Okay, right. Doesn't like children. This is a very, very good example. This is a very good example of just like a gender role. This is just a gender roles test, a traditional gender roles test. There's nothing else to it really. Back then, women were expected to be good wives and good mothers, and therefore if someone didn't like children, if like a woman didn't like children, then she's a bad wife and that's it. She's a bad wife, she's a bad mother, she might as well just not exist. So yeah, that's a thing. There was something else. Goes to bed with curlers in her hair or lots of face cream. This one is very like aesthetic appearance orientated, right? You're meant to look nice for your husband. Yeah. Let's see. Were there any others? Here's another one. Is religious, sends children to church or Sunday school and goes herself. I mean, obviously in the West, like religious rates are declining. So this is incredibly less relevant than it used to be. And now we'd just say like you don't even need to be the same religion. Don't need to have the same religious beliefs. You just need to be able to Like, you just need to make sure that your beliefs mesh, if that makes sense. They just need to fit together, and you need to work together to make sure they fit together. So, yeah, this is outdated too. Okay, let's see. Okay, is suspicious and jealous? I have mixed feelings about this one, because obviously if somebody is overly suspicious and jealous, we have a word for that these days, and that's being controlling. But yeah, some degree of like jealousy in a relationship is like kind of normal. Like you can entirely trust your partner and still feel like a little twinge of something when you're seeing them interact with somebody. Like that's fine. It's when it stops being healthy and starts to interact and prevent you from being able to do things together that it becomes a problem. Same shared value, perhaps? Definitely, yeah. So sharing values is super, super important. Hi, Tayu. Welcome in, welcome in. How are you doing? We went through the the wife and the husband tests that have been going around on Twitter. I don't know if you've seen them. I got 0%. I'm a failure of a wife. But I'm an average husband. So yeah, I'm not sure what to make of that. Okay, let's see. Is there any others? This one, I still don't understand the musical instrument one. I still don't understand it. You just failed to direct a raid your way, but it'll happen. Oh, thank you. Okay, here's a fun fact. I've actually never been raided. I've never been raided. It's not happened yet. And if you manage to be the first one, which you probably will be, let's be honest, I will give you VIP. Because I give VIP to people that do like the first things. Yeah, that's the thing. What else? Dresses for breakfast, good host. Okay, this is all still very... Okay, I think we've kind of talked about all of these things. So let's have a quick... Oh, whoops. Take the test again. Let's have a quick look at what was trying to be measured. Okay. Also, I need a drink first, 1 second. Okay. Oh, you're super tired today and failed to stream or work more on the thing? Oh, I'm sorry. I hope you feel a bit better soon. I also feel incredibly tired today. I woke up and I was like just staring at the ceiling, basically. And then I have spent a large chunk of the day like also just staring at the wall, and then eventually managed to go out of the house and go to the shop for the first time this year. So I guess it's been kind of productive. When's the next stream? That is a good question. I've just sorted out my schedule. I think Tuesday. Tuesday? Yes, Tuesday at 5 p.m. GMT. I think that would be when it is. Yeah. And I have no idea what I'm doing, so don't expect much. My streaming days are probably going to be Tuesday and Wednesday evenings, Europe time, and maybe Saturdays, also evening probably, but I haven't decided that yet. The one day that you really can't stream and raid, I still think that you're gonna win. I might, you know what? If you organise a raid from somebody else, I'll still give you the VIP. How's that? I think that's fair. Thank you. Super sorry for the delay, but I think I managed to create a Twitter account and send it. Thank you so much. I'll check after the stream. Average English stereotypical house husband. Chippy pubs, football with the lads. Oh my gosh, why does that remind me of the Brexit geezer meme? You know, the one that's like, oh, what is it? What is it? No, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. It's gonna bother me if I don't find it. Apologies for the aggressive typing. Okay, Brexit geezer meme. Average day in the life of a true Brexit geezer. That's the one. This is like iconic. I love this one so much. Day in the life of a true Brexit geezer. Wake up and meet the wife Susan. My little princess, ain't she beautiful? Time to take George to football. Rev up the Bugatti, yeah. Sorry, I can't. Day in the life of a Brexit geezer. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna find a YouTube. I'll find a YouTube link. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Absolutely iconic. We love this. I'm not competent enough to like actually stream it. I'm still trying to work out things like that, but you know, bear with. Yeah. Anyone that's like fairly new, you need to know that I'm a bit of a boomer with technology. So I'm still trying to work out how like streaming works in general, even though I've been doing it for like 2 months. Because the thing about scientists is that we're very, very good at one specific thing, and then we're terrible at technology. Okay, right. So, what were they trying to measure? Okay, right. Admiration and respect. Emphasize the importance of mutual admiration and respect between spouses. Okay, mutual respect, very important. Admiration, that's a bit of a weird choice of word, but okay. He believed that a good wife should hold her husband in high regard and express appreciation for his qualities and efforts. Okay, that, to be fair, there's nothing... Okay, wait. No, wait a second. A good wife should hold her husband in high regard and express appreciation for his qualities and efforts. So, hold... Okay, obviously this needs to go 2 ways. This can't just be the wife. I hope this is on the husband one as well. Let's see. There's no specific information. Brilliant. Okay. Right. Emotional support, stable nurturing environment, effective communication, listen to the spouse, navigate conflicts diplomatically, foster open constructive dialogue. There's nothing wrong with any of this, to be fair. Like, you know, you should be able to communicate with your partner. That is the most important thing. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, but yes, it reflected a heteronormative and patriarchal perspective. Yeah, well, I mean, that was kind of obvious from the questions, wasn't it? So there's no indication of admiring and respecting your wife as a husband. So that's slightly concerning. Obviously, you know, you should express appreciation for the things that your partner's trying to do, but, you know, the respect should be both ways. And also don't just like sit there and say good job for the like things that should be the basics. Like, it's nice occasionally, but excessive praising for those like basic things is it's a bit infantilizing, really. So cultured with the geezer lifestyle. So true. What can I say? I am just an average English lass. Sounds like a bit of a hierarchy in the household. Yeah, that's very much how married relationships used to be back then. Very much so. Affectionate even. Affectionate and demonstrative. A good wife, according to Dr. Crane, should be affectionate and express love and warmth toward her husband. Demonstrating physical and emotional affection was considered important for maintaining a strong marital bond. I mean, again, that description, there's nothing wrong with it on the surface. That is partially true. You know, obviously different people express their affection in different ways, and it's just up to the couple to find a way that works for them. It doesn't necessarily even have to be physical. Like, you know, there's some people that they're in completely happy relationships and they don't really have that much physical affection, because some people, for example, if somebody's like neurodivergent, then being touched might actually be a bad thing for them. And if you've got 2 people that are like that, then no, they won't be very physically affectionate, and that's okay. That works for them. Whereas other people might be very, very affectionate. And it's just about, again, communicating and making sure that you're on the same wavelength about these things, right? But I have a horrible feeling that what Dr. Crane actually meant was that a wife should force herself into physical affection even when she doesn't want to. I think I saw one of these, like, you know, those like fundamentalist Christian vloggers that are on YouTube. I found one of those. Well, I didn't find it, to be fair. I was watching somebody on Twitch who found it. I should clarify that. And they were saying basically like the man was basically like, oh, even if you're angry at me, you should still like give me cuddles and affection because it makes me sad otherwise. And it's like she shouldn't be forcing herself to do that when she doesn't want to. Like that's very, yeah, that's a bit strange. It needs to be respectful in two ways, you know. Both ways of respect and mutual agreements and disagreements are fundamental. Yeah, definitely. I think, to be fair, this is something that this kind of reminds me of something that a lot of people don't realize is that having arguments when you're in a relationship is actually completely normal and completely healthy. Like that's fine. It's a normal thing to do. It's not about whether they happen, it's about how you resolve them. If you if you and a partner are having really like intense conflicts but they don't get resolved and they just drag on and on and on and on and people keep making like passive aggressive comments to each other for a long period of time, that's that's something that reflects an issue with communication. Whereas if you're having, I don't know, if you're having an argument but then you resolve it, you're able to calm down and communicate with each other and solve the problem and then move forward in a way that does actually address it so that neither of you feel like you're being undermined, then that is how you can really build up something really built on respect and really like, I don't know, just nice for everybody involved. Like you know, when two people are around each other all the time, it's normal for them to argue. That's a part of life. That's just being human. A lot of people think that in order to be a good partner, you should never argue. And that's not necessarily the case. Sometimes it's a good way to communicate your emotions. And it can help to really convey the severity of what you're feeling. Affection can be like words or affirmation if they don't like physical affection. Yes, exactly. There's so many ways to be affectionate. It can be words, it can be actions. So for example, this is probably like the most cringe stereotypical thing ever. But like one of the ways that I express affection to my husband is by making him a cup of tea. Like I just ask him all the time, do you want a cup of tea? Because that's just a way of showing that I'm like thinking about him and like that I care about him. Yeah. It's like the most English thing ever. Oh my gosh. I hate it. Average British lass has a PhD. Fact, which actually just statistical error. That's true. Average British lass does have 0 PhDs. Psydere George, who lives in a cave and has over 33 million PhDs, is an outlier and should not have been counted. Extremely true. Extremely true. It's actually me. I'm the one with 33 million PhDs. I've got a PhD in every single subject. No, I haven't. I've got a PhD in every single thing in psychology. And therefore, if I say anything psychology related, you are not allowed to argue. I am the final form of psychology. I'm sorry that I have to tell you this way. I'm sorry that I didn't tell you sooner. Yeah, I am the Lord of psychology. Now bow down to me. The final boss, yes! I'm the final boss of psychology. Oh, I need to find a way to build that into my lore. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Okay, right. I think, is there anything, wait, first of all, is there anything else that I can say about this test? Oh, housemaking skills. Housemaking skills, very, very stereotypical. Intelligence and conversational ability. He believes that a good wife should be intelligent and possess conversational skills. Interesting. I think that this might be not even just reflecting stereotypical traditional gender roles from the 1920s. I think it might actually be reflecting a very specific type of middle-class American gender roles from the 1920s, when women were expected to be able to keep up with their husband in private but never outshine him in public. So, yeah. And then finally, sexual compatibility. Me just laughing awkwardly because I didn't set this stream to 18 plus. Yes. Compatibility is important. However, remember that consent is also important, and do not force yourself into any situation, which is probably what they expected in the 1920s. Okay, that's all I'll say about that. Husband rating scale had no other really helpful information. The husband rating scale was more he can provide, he can also resolve conflicts diplomatically. All of those, I think, are valid. However, of course, those are not things exclusive to husbands. Those are things which are things that anyone can do, you know? Being able to have, financial stability, that isn't reflective of somebody's worth for a start. There's all sorts of situations which mean that somebody might not be financially stable, often completely out of their control. And yeah, emotional support, that is just a good thing to give people in general. It's good to be, a nice, emotionally supportive person. Effective communication, also just important in general. Again, these are all things which sometimes people can't control. There's all sorts of reasons why people might not be the best at communicating, or they might just have different ways of communicating that don't match what we expect. That's fine. Let's see. But yeah, contemporary approaches to marital satisfaction consider a more diverse set of factors. Yeah, very true. So yeah, the whole thing about the man being the breadwinner is incredibly outdated. A more kind of like modern Western relationship would be that basically people can support themselves individually, but they also support each other in a kind of mutually interdependent way without being overly reliant or forcing the other person to be overly reliant on them. But yeah, I think that is that's pretty much everything about the scale. In terms of how it was developed, it honestly just seems like this guy just wrote down a whole bunch of stuff that he thinks. Also, is it Yavia? Orochi? Thank you so much for the follow. I'm sorry, I only just noticed. I didn't get the noise, which is odd. I should have got the noise to tell me. But yeah, sorry. Thank you for following. I hope you're enjoying the class so far. Yeah, you heard the noise. I didn't hear the noise. What is this? This is not fair. Where's my noise? Oh, my noise is not turned on. No, it is turned on. Okay, hang on a second. Maybe I was just talking. Maybe I was just in my zone and I just didn't pay attention. That's also possible. I apologize. I'm a mess. I'm so sorry. When I start talking, it's sometimes hard to stop me. I'm one of those people. That's why I'm a scientist. Yeah. So when we're actually developing a scale, we don't want to just write down things that we think and then turn it into things that people can type agree or disagree to. We want things that reflect all of the possibilities for the constructs that we are measuring. So, for example, if you were developing a modern scale for whether somebody is a good partner or not, first of all, you already have to start off by acknowledging that that question in itself has values embedded in it, because you are outright saying, like, there is such thing as a good partner, and what I think is a good partner reflects what actually is a good partner, if that makes sense. It's kind of suggesting that the idea of a good partner is like an actual physical thing that you can be instead of just an idea. Yeah. And you have to be able to write them in a way that is it's going to be accepted across cultures, across times. So, it would still be accepted now or in the 1920s. Frankly, with a question like that, it's basically impossible, because norms and values change over time, whereas other things sometimes don't as much. So, for example, I don't know, like maths ability generally has stayed fairly consistent, because math, like the basic types of numeracy, haven't really changed that much in the last 200 years. But even then, comparing it now to, like, for example, like a hunter-gatherer tribe, like 2000, well, not 2000, because there was still civilizations 2000. Like, I don't know, like the Roman Empire 2000 years ago. Even if you're comparing that, like, there's still going to be substantial differences, because they would have thought differently about numeracy than we do today. We think about it a lot more digitally, whereas back then they would have, actually physically counted stuff out, for example. What else is important? So when you're making sure that things stay consistent across time and across groups, that's part of a concept called measurement invariance, which just means that you don't want it to vary massively when you're applying it to different groups of people. And I've said about cultures, it's not just cultures, it's also like, for example, gender groups, or I don't know, like anime fans and people that are not anime fans, even things like that. It shouldn't be different unless there's like a theoretical reason underpinning it. Yeah. What else do you need to think about? There's more, but now that I'm getting to the end of the stream, my brain's starting to turn into spaghetti and I've forgotten what they are. So, yeah. Also, I'm so sorry. I've been ignoring the chat while I was rambling on. Okay, right. Imagine a PhD in communication, specifically understanding a classic roadman here in the UK. Oh my gosh. I feel like that is sometimes something that is needed. Like, even when I talk to my friends that are from like London, nowadays I'm like, I can't keep up with your slang. I do not know what you're talking about. It's pretty wild. Yes, consent is essential, or the big bad law will smack a gavel on your head. So true. Wait, let me swap over. Isn't a scale kind of inherently bad for that? I'm so sorry, I was waffling and I've forgotten what we were talking about. Isn't a scale bad for something? It would need to be more of a spectrum to have any appreciable nuance. Oh, no, I'm not facing away from the mic, but I think I might just be kind of drifting off as I talk. I've got a bit of a tendency to like slur while I talk, because I don't know why, it's just my accent. But when I am talking, if I start kind of like thinking, I just kind of go that way, and then I'm like not pointing at the mic anymore, so it's probably that. But yeah, what scale inherently bad for what? I'm sorry, I missed it completely. I was in my own world talking, so as I tend to be. Yeah. But yeah, scales in general, they have a lot of issues with them. They can be decent. It depends on how they're developed. If you're like generating a whole range of things that try to reflect every aspect of the construct that you're trying to measure, and if you're measuring on a broader scale, so like, for example, you can do like strongly agree to strongly disagree on like a 7 or even like 9-point scale with like a Psydere, or even up to 100. Then if you can fit as much of the construct as possible, and if you give people enough diversity in their ability to respond, then scales can be good. But you also have to then go out and test them on a very large group of people. I think one of the better scales that I know of is the Neo Personality Inventory. I'll try and find it actually. But it's like the what is it? Neo PI Costa and McCrae. The revised Neo Personality Inventory. This is one that's used a lot in all sorts of things. Oh, it's cropped out the title. So this one's used in all sorts of things, and it's genuinely like fairly replicable. They've tested this over and over and over again in very, very big groups of people. I think the biggest test of it was like 200,000 people or something like that. And they found that it works across cultures as well. So that seems to be a pretty strong indication that it's fairly robust. That being said, it isn't perfect. Some of the cross-cultural research has suggested that they don't quite fit. But yeah, it's like a whole bunch of subscales. So there's basically it's really hard to visualize, but like imagine each of these 6 things, they're like a graph axis. So they're like my model just did something weird because I was like visualizing a graph axis with my arms, and then I remembered I'm not actually teaching and you can't see me. So imagine there's like a graph axis, so like with a up and a down, x and y coordinate. X is along, and y is up and down. And then you can also add on a z coordinate, which is like going off towards you into the distance. So you've got a horizontal left to right. You've got horizontal here to there, as in like front to back, and then you've got Y, which is the vertical up and down. You can keep adding dimensions, but you can't visualize them anymore. It starts to go into quite complex maths, but basically each of these sub things, so like anxiety, hostility, anger, depression, self-consciousness, they're all dimensions, so they're all scales on a scale of 0 to 10 or whatever. Hi Jack! Oh my gosh, thank you so much for the raid! Let's go! Thank you. How was your stream? I hope you're having a good day. And what were you playing? How do I know what you were playing? Everyone's always like, wow, you were doing this. And I'm like, how do you know that? How do you know that? Wait. How do I know that? What were you playing? Tell me how your day's going. And if you need to get up and bloody good, we love that. If you need to go up and stretch your legs and get some food and a drink and stuff, feel free to go and do it. But yeah, thank you. Let's go. You were playing Factorio. Of course you were. I literally saw your thing, I think, on Twitter right as I was about to go live saying you were playing Factorio. Oh, I'm such a mess. You need to set up a bot to do the SO command? I do need to do that. Do I have to do that manually? My mod's disappeared. He got up and left. How do I do it? I can do the standard Twitch one. I know I can do that. I don't know if it did it automatically. There we go. Yes, please go and give Jack a follow. He's a legend. We love Jack in here. You're also fairly drunk. Oh my gosh. You absolute mess. Factorio when drunk just sounds like an absolute disaster. So yeah. Go follow Jack. Go follow him. And yeah, Jack's a legend. We love Jack. Jack's been here since the beginning. But yeah, you're a legend. Oh, thank you. But yeah, personality dimensions. So yeah, you've got this like, I'm so sorry for all of the raiders. You've come from like a drunk Factorio session and I'm going into the statistics of how we measure personality. Like, this is a very, very different vibe. This is such a different vibe. But yeah. Same difference. True. Factorio is technical. This is technical too. You know, it's the same energy. Also, welcome in, Calandril. Thank you for raiding with us. Trust me, I'm the only one who won't be able to understand. I don't understand either, but I still try. My light just died. I think that's a sign I should probably wrap up the stream soon, isn't it? Oh dear. If my model tracking goes wacky, that's because my light died and it can't see me anymore very well. I'll put on this light and hopefully that will cope. But yeah, where was we? That's the most English thing ever. Yeah, so we've got these 6 dimensions, and then we've got 5 dimensions even. And then we've got 5 dimensions, and then 6 dimensions within each of those 5 dimensions. So there's like a scale within a scale, and they all kind of like cross each other. And it's like, if you're trying to visualize it, you just can't. It turns into a big old mess. But yeah, we try and set up our scales so that they are represented like this in numerical space. And it works roughly. This one has generally been fine. It's just that, it's not perfect. Some cross-cultural research has suggested that maybe personality might be slightly different in, for example, like I think it was China. They did a big study in China and they found that personality was represented differently in China compared to the West because, surprise, surprise, this entire thing was developed with probably mostly American undergraduate students because that's so often the case. And I've got a whole lesson planned about that situation. I need to get food and my leg hurts. Yeah, no, you need to, go get your food, go and stretch your legs, go and vibe. But yeah, thank you so much for the raid and thank you for joining us. And have a good evening. But I think that's my waffle about personality largely done, to be fair. And originally excuse me while I just readjust myself on my chair. Originally, my plan was to like play a game and let everybody choose, but in all honesty, I'm getting tired and my throat keeps going funky. So, is there any other questions about personality or scales in psychology? Because I can answer them, and then if not, I think it might be time to head off and find somebody to raid. And I think I know who I would like to raid. I think I actually know today, which is a rare occurrence. There is another scientist VTuber streaming right now. Oh, it's 18 plus though. Okay, maybe not. Let's see. Who else is there? There is another scientist VTuber streaming. Okay, let's maybe do that. Okay. But yeah, any other questions? Any questions about how we do scales? What kind of personality is most likely to be in a scale? So personalities aren't... I know that there's like a real thing in popular culture for people to be like grouped together in like personality types, but that's not really how it works. Oh, you're making a joke. Oh. I'm sorry. The joke was so good. The thing is though, I've had a question like that in my classes, so I don't know if it's a joke. Like, I've had an actual like second year psychology undergraduate student ask me this, somebody that's doing a bachelor's. They have asked me the same thing, like it was genuinely along the lines of like, you know, I think that the MBTI is really cool. You know, what's the statistical breakdown of all of the different types? And I had to be like, okay, here we go. I am sorry to be an INTP, but your scale is trash. I was saying a scaly. Okay, I was never gonna understand that, was I? I'm a boomer. Come on. Oh, no. Okay, right. So, I think it is time to end the stream. My throat hurts. I'm dying. I did get the spiders, George meme. I did. So it's time to go and disappear. We have two choices. So we have there's two scientist VTubers currently streaming. One's a VTuber and one's a PNG tuber who's going to debut in the future. The PNG is the PNG. They are just a PNG. They are playing Project Zomboid. It says 18 plus. I know that there is at least one person in this chat who is not 18 plus, but I won't tell if you don't. Or we have Malcolm Bell, who is playing Dark Souls. Either of them, I think, are chill. Like, I've watched both of their streams and they both seem cool. So, who do we think? Any preferences? Project Zomboid or Dark Souls? What are we feeling? Gio, I wonder who is not 18 plus in here. I don't know. Thank you. I will enjoy my cup of tea. I am an absolute geezer. I am. Dark Souls. We've got a Dark Souls vote. Cool. Okay, I think we're gonna go with the Dark Souls then. They've been streaming for how long? 5 hours already? How do you do that? I can't cope. Okay, we've got 2 Dark Souls votes. We're going with that. Cool. Let's do that. We are going to raid Malcolm Bell. I have seen Malcolm playing Minecraft before. It was very chill. Malcolm is Scottish, so big up Scottish representation. What else can I say? Nothing. I'm just a boomer, and I'm not very good at managing, talking and doing things at the same time. We're gonna go over there. That's it. That's all I got. Okay. Dark Souls is a grindy game. Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to cope with Dark Souls very well. It would not be my kind of game, in all honesty. What I've got it on my Switch, and because my friends like really encouraged me to buy it, and I was just like, I can't do it. I'm really bad at like not dying in games, so I would just be constantly dying. There's a Dark Souls on the Switch. Yeah, there is. I think it's Dark Souls. I don't know which one it is. It's one of the remastered ones. But yeah, big up another Scottish lad. Let's go. Okay, right. So, what is our raid message? Is this going to work today? How do I spell this? No, that's not working. Is this working? Yes, it worked. Success. Success. Let's go. Oh my gosh. The amount of times that hasn't worked, I've been so upset. We'll add the smug emoji on the end if that's okay. I like the smug emote. I think it makes me laugh. You can't imagine someone going from Animal Crossing to Dark Souls. That's literally me. That is literally me. I wish I was joking. It's like, okay, time to play 10 hours of Suika game and then tried to move over to Dark Souls. Thanks for the stream. Thank you. Thank you all for joining. I hope you've all enjoyed it. And yeah, if you have any psychology questions, I have Twitter now and I also have Instagram, and you're welcome to just like tag me in questions and I will answer them on stream. At some point, I would love to do like a thing where I'm just answering questions on stream because I love like, I don't know. I think it's way more interesting for everybody if I'm actually just answering people's questions because, yeah, I mean, sometimes I feel like I don't know what I'm talking about, but then I know I actually do. It's just the imposter syndrome going brr. But yeah, thank you so much. And I hope you all have a lovely, lovely day or evening or morning or whatever it is where you are. And yeah, enjoy. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining the class.